President, in answer to my colleague's question, is there's not an incentive. This bill is full of mandates. And what it doesn't mandate, it sets up panels to mandate. It sets up panels of bureaucrats to mandate. The real difference on this bill, and I believe we've got big problems with the insurance industry, but I don't think you eliminate it. I think what you do is you clean it up and make it have to be competitive, fair, and open and honest. And what this bill does is this mandate. You know, just this week, the task force, preventative task force, came out with new recommendations for mammograms. And if you're only thinking about cost, they're great. Recommend. If you're looking at it only from cost, how do we most effectively spend the dollars, their recommendations are absolutely right. But if you're thinking about health, their recommendations are absolutely wrong. You asked the thousands upon thousands of women last year, under 50, who had their breast cancer diagnosed early with a mammogram, what they think about the Preventative Task Force's recommendation. And what they're going to say, and what they're going to tell us, is that would have made me odd man out, odd woman out. Because I wouldn't have had a mammogram. I'm talking not high-risk patients, I'm talking what they're talking about, not screening. And that's what the majority of these mammograms find, is no symptoms, no risk, no increased risk. And you're going to see that multiplied 100-fold in this system. You know, I go back, and I know you're old enough to have been trained in medicine the same way I was. There's three real tenets in medicine. And the three tenets they drill into you is the first thing is don't hurt anybody. Whatever you do, try not to hurt anybody. And in the practice of medicine and the art of medicine, that sometimes happens. We do hurt people. Sometimes we hurt them on purpose to try to get them better. But the first is to do no harm. And the second is to listen to the patient. Well, the patient at this time in America is the American citizenry, where 85% of the people pretty well like what they got. And they want the good kept as we fix what's wrong. And finally, the third tenet of medicine that almost every doctor is taught is if it's already been done and it isn't working, don't do it again and don't keep doing it. Well, let me tell you something. Medicaid isn't working. Indian health care isn't working. Medicare is broke. The states are broke under the weight of Medicaid. We should give great pause as we break the three tenets of medicine in hopes of saying we reformed health care. You know, my wish would have been when President Obama spoke to us under a joint session of Congress. Here's what I believe he should have said. This is an important matter for America. It's important to us economically. It affects every individual in this country. And what he should have said is, I haven't been leading very well on this, because we're way over here on one side on this issue. And I'm going to admit I haven't been leading very well, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring us together in the middle, where we can all agree on 80. It's kind of like Senator Enzi's 80% rule. It's a great rule. Senator Enzi has joined us, who's the ranking member of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. I'm going to bring us together and find something that 80% of us can agree on. Had he done that, he would have been a hero in solving the problems that we find ourselves in. Instead, we're going to try to pass something that before we're through with it, the vast majority of Americans aren't going to want. And if you do pass it, and he does sign it, they're going to revolt. So as our friend Lamar Alexander says, what we ought to do is start over. And we ought to fix one step at a time the things that we know are most important. The author and promoter of associational health plans, where we increase the buying power, transparency in the insurance market, risk reevaluation so that people can't cherry pick and eliminate from pre-existing illnesses, can't cancel you. All those things we can do without creating all these new programs, all these 1,697 times that the Secretary of HHS is going to write the rules and regs. Senator Barrasso, I thank you, one, for your insight and your experience. I'd leave our colleague from Wyoming, the senior senator from Wyoming, with this thought. You got two doctors down here that happen to be U.S. senators. We've got well over 50 years of practice experience. I had a business career in the health industry prior to going into medicine. We diagnose this bill as sick. We diagnose it as something that should be pulled from the market, just like FDA pulled Vioxx. It will not solve the problem. It will make the patient sicker. And with that, I yield the floor.